And they look at the refugees that have nothing but the clothes on their back, and they say... In total, legal entities used by Jehovah's Witnesses spent over $10 million.
This reminds me that I also have to make my own donations, just as every other member of the Bethel family does.
Many of our brothers were out of work for a period of time. The governing body is aware that many of you generously provided food and even money so that their families could get by. We commend you for your generosity. In fact, that is exactly what Jehovah wanted you to do.
Well, if that's what Jehovah wanted them to do, doesn't it follow that that's what he wants the organization to do as well?
Our brothers and sisters have been affected by over 100 disasters. But because of your generous donations to the worldwide work, so far for this service year, we've been able to spend over $6 million to provide relief.
Oh my God! Wow!
I genuinely don't understand. I don't get how this organization will continue to try and weird flex how little they spend to actually help Jehovah's Witnesses, or anyone for that matter. They have tax-exempt status and are considered a charity by a lot of countries around the world. And yet these miserly morons just made another video telling you just how pathetic they are when it comes to actually helping people with real dollars. So let's talk about the new broadcast. No, this is a governing body update. We're talking about a governing body update. Intro. So this governing body update is hosted by the newest member of the governing body, Jacob Rumpf. I don't know, it kind of reminds me of that old F Troop episode. The Burglar of Banff.
The burglar of Banff. The burglar of Banff.
That no one will get that joke. That is such an obscure reference. Anyway, we will call him the Jacob of Rampf. Anyway, me making jokes that nobody understands or even gets the reference to. Hey, that's just par for the course. We're all here to watch the slow mental deterioration of someone that paints his nails and wears a lot of sweaters. With all of that being said, let's run the first little segment here so we can actually begin the video.
In our last update, we reported on various disasters that have affected our brothers and sisters around the world. In just the first 6 months of the 2025 service year, our brothers and sisters have been affected by over 100 disasters. But because of your generous donations to the worldwide work, so far for this service year, we've been able to spend over $6 million to provide relief. We thank all of you for your loving support. Of course, material assistance is just one way that we provide relief to our brothers and sisters. We also provide spiritual encouragement and emotional support. This is highlighted in the following video about our relief efforts in the state of California in the United States.
It's like when SpongeBob was trying to get his boating license and he only gets 6 points on his exam.
What's my final score?
6.
Woo! And how many do I need to pass?
6. 100.
They are sitting here like wiggling their finger, trying to really pump people up. Man, thank you so much for your donations. We were able to give $6 million. That's a lot of... Whoa! $6 million? I honestly don't understand the mind of someone that would come out and publicly share this information. Why would you tell people you only spent $6 million over the last 6 months? Because anyone can put this together and realize that this is an insignificant amount of money that's coming from a notoriously parsimonious organization. Let's just put this into perspective. Let's look at the JW.org and under their news section and just the last 6 months and see how many people and how many homes and damages that they'll have and just how far that $6 million will go. We'll just do a quick little experiment here on the spot. Flooding in northern Haiti resulted in 49 publishers being displaced, 2 homes destroyed, and 2 homes sustaining major damage. Wildfires in California, 1,068 people displaced, 83 homes destroyed, 3 homes with major damage. Destructive storms pound the Philippines. 2 homes sustained major damage, 12 homes sustained minor damage. Hurricane Oscar in Cuba. 14 publishers were evacuated, 13 homes were destroyed, and 22 homes sustained major damage. Devastating floods pummel southeastern Spain. 19 publishers have been evacuated or displaced, 1 home destroyed, 21 homes sustained major damage. Tropical storm in Philippines, 747 publishers displaced, 7 homes destroyed, 24 homes sustained major damage. Hurricane Milton in Florida, 9,900 publishers have been evacuated or displaced, 16 homes destroyed, 235 homes sustained major damage. Storm Boris causes heavy flooding in parts of Central Europe. So in the Czech Republic, that resulted in 79 publishers displaced, 12 homes sustaining major damage. In Italy, 63 publishers displaced, 7 homes with major damage. Poland, 87 people displaced, 61 homes with major damage. And Romania, 1 publisher displaced and 2 homes with major damage. And Hurricane Helene, 1,600 publishers displaced, 29 homes destroyed, and 236 homes sustained major damage. So of the people that were displaced or evacuated, that totals something like 13,500, somewhere in that range. So what's that? $6 million for that many people is $400 a person? 2 nights in a hotel? With maybe a sweatshirt and a McDonald's meal for a couple of people? This is nothing to brag about. Like $400 per person. That's not going to get you very far. That's for all the people. The homes that were destroyed or displaced, it was like 700. That's $7,000, $7,500 per person? Or per home that's destroyed, major damage, or the home is destroyed. A roof, new windows, freaking blinds in your house. If you want to just get new blinds in your house, it's probably going to cost you more than $7,000. Let alone like if there's major damage to electrical, plumbing, roof. This is ridiculous. It's insane. Now, the argument I always make about this is, will they specify how that $6 million is being spent? Because I will hazard a guess that as part of their financial breakdown, this isn't just me speculating, I don't know this for sure, so I could just be talking out my butt here, but I suspect that part of their budgeting for this disaster relief is flying a governing body member or a governing body helper to the location, whatever the flight might cost there, whatever, if they have to do any or take any camera equipment so they can do the photo op and get the picture of him with the high-vis jacket that they always show, where he's walking around shaking hands with people, putting his hand on their shoulder. Are you okay, dear sister? All of this stuff. So I suspect that is part of the money that they spend, which won't be insignificant. And I suspect as well that damage to kingdom halls is included in the money that they spend for disaster relief. They say that this money goes to help people, right? One of the ways that Jehovah's Witnesses primarily consider that they help people is by providing spiritual help. And the only way to provide spiritual help for people is to have a kingdom hall, a center for worship. So by repairing the local kingdom hall, that, I think, in their minds, is actual disaster relief. I would be willing to wager a significant amount of money that 50% of the money that they say they're spending to help other people, at least 50% of that is purely going to fixing buildings that they own. That's generous, because I really think it's 100%. Honestly, in my heart of hearts, I think 100% that they are just fixing property that they already own, or they're helping people that have insurance so that they can reclaim the insurance money and recoup their losses, which means you haven't spent anything at all. You just told someone to go on their own dime to go. Anyway, I've ranted about this subject so much, but I want you to just get your head around that. You are displaced from your home. Your home is destroyed, and you see this broadcasting, and Watchtower, they gave you the equivalent of $400. 400 rupees to go and build back your life. Would you be thinking, man, we are so blessed. This is so amazing. Let's put this in even a different perspective. I don't know why I have this off the top of my head, but I remember there were celebrities donating to the California wildfires. And I believe Leonardo DiCaprio, he said he would donate $1 million. Jamie Lee Curtis, she said she was donating $1 million. I think the Eagles, collectively as a band, they said they were doing $2.5 million. Okay, we're almost there. Eva Longoria, she said she was donating $1 million. And Beyonce, she said she was donating something like $2 million. So just those people I named right there have donated more to doing disaster relief than the entire global Watchtower Corporation that has assets worth billions of dollars. This is so insane that they can pat themselves on the back. And I've made fun of them for this before. I have, every time that they wheel this out, I poke and I laugh at them. They say, oh, we spent $10 million. We spent $12 million. And here we've had one of the worst six months of natural disasters and loss of property for people. And here we are patting ourselves on the back for $6 million. Absolutely insane. Anyway, let's move on and see what the rest of this, I keep wanting to say broadcast, but this update has to say.
You'll recall that devastating wildfires erupted there in January of this year.
When you go through something like this, I don't know how to express it. It changes you.
Wow.
When someone loses everything, the process is overwhelming, and they don't know how to recover. They don't know how to walk through it. So when their recovery effort changes from a load for them that they can handle themselves to a burden for them, that's when the relief organization can help them carry that burden.
I want you to think about this. This is an organization that publicly has said that in 1 year they spent $500 million on construction projects to improve their facilities, to make videos for people, okay? $500 million. This, you can make a rough estimation about the assets that they have just based off of that. How much are they willing to expend on development as a percentage of how much they are worth in their assets, okay? So you know that this is a billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar organization. And you're looking at this couple that is, their home has been completely destroyed. And when you do the math, as David Splain likes to say, you come to the conclusion that here's a check for $400. So congratulations. Or hey, you know what? We're going to help you rebuild your house. And for seven grand. You're not even going to be able to remove all of the rubbish for $7. It's a piddling amount of money that they're talking about. And the only reason that people will have the facade that the organization is helping them is because there are individual Jehovah's Witnesses that are paying money out of their pocket, that are taking time off of work, away from their families, to volunteer and help. And it gives the illusion that the organization was there. And instead of compensating those people, instead of helping them or giving them praise, the people that should be, put some respect on their name, nope, let's shower all praise to the organization that did nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's truly sickening whenever they whip this crap out, but let's just keep going. I'm sure it'll get worse.
The thought in Isaiah 41:10, it says there that Jehovah really holds on to us. And this is something that we've been able to see come to life.
I'm a single sister, single mama. When I saw the relief team come in, that was Jehovah's hand to me to say, my people, I've got you.
Our brothers and sisters have gone through great loss, including even their own homes. And yet, while the physical needs are handled and helped with by means of the disaster relief arrangement, it's the spiritual needs that also need to be given attention to.
Jehovah has protected you in the most important way, because you have not lost your faith and you have not lost your relationship with God.
Give me a hug, give me a hug.
When you look at that shot of him giving the talk in his high-vis jacket, it always has to be, when I look at the audience, I see mostly gray-haired people, older Jehovah's Witnesses that have been following this organization for their entire lives. They probably didn't pursue career opportunities. They probably made a lot of personal sacrifices and financial sacrifices in order to be a better Jehovah's Witness. It is part of the culture. You are raised up, lifted up, seen as an example, as someone that should be emulated and followed if you will make personal financial sacrifices for the organization. And you'll be looked down on if you do the opposite of that. So these people have really drunk the Kool-Aid. They have eaten the JW Jesus crackers. And here they're sitting after they've lost everything. And what do they get? $400 and a hug. That is what a lifetime of servitude to a billion-dollar organization, a real estate organization. They took the deed and the title to your Kingdom Hall, said, hey, make sure you keep paying for it even though it's paid off. Make sure you keep maintaining it even though we own it. And if we need to sell it, so be it. And if something bad happens to you, here's $400 and a hug. It's truly amazing that this organization still has anyone that takes it remotely serious. I don't know how these Jehovah's Witnesses that go through something like that. Sure, there's the, oh man, I'm a single mom and everyone came and they helped me clean up. That is community. That is your religious community, people that are helping. One of the most attractive things to people about being religious is just the community that it gives you. And you can go to any other church, and I promise they will do more. There will be people that will be willing to make you meals, help you clean up. There will be people that they have programs set up to help you financially get through these things. They have programs set up that if you go through a life-altering medical situation, hey, you know, I don't have a lot of great things to say about a lot of religions, but do they occasionally show up for people that are going through a hard time? Absolutely. You can't deny the charitable aspect of a lot of Christian organizations. You can't deny it. A lot of people receive health care, have a lot of their medical bills paid for, have a lot of access to treatment for addiction and things like this. There's a lot of things that they exist. But with Watchtower, you get all of the evils and the bad negative things that come about from being a doomsday cult, but you get nothing in return except for $400 and a hug.
Give me a hug, give me a hug.
This is Jehovah's physical evidence that he loves you.
We send messages out to friends in the congregation. We need blankets, we need pillows, we need supplies. And within probably an hour, things started showing up.
I appreciate the friends that have taken us in and provided for us. That was so encouraging, so loving, and you know, it brings you to tears.
You don't know exactly how it's going to work out, like you can't pinpoint everything, but you just know that Jehovah's going to take care of you.
Just get the sense that Jehovah is guiding us, and it's a unique privilege to cry with the friends, to hug them, to reassure them that when Jehovah says, throw your burden on me, he really means it.
He's always been real, but anytime you see his hand in a very real way, you just are naturally drawn closer to him. So it's a shame that we go through these kinds of events, but in every single case, every single person, from the victim to the person who provides relief, all draw closer to Jehovah.
We deeply appreciate the hard work and unselfish efforts of all those at the branch offices, the circuit overseers, the disaster relief committee members, and many other volunteers worldwide. Of course, all of us who contribute funds are also essential to this work. In fact, we all have a share in what 2 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 4 calls the relief ministry. And when we support this ministry, we also become fellow workers with Jehovah.
Now here's a big problem. The organization, oftentimes, whenever they are asking for money, asking for donations, they're doing so with this pretense. The pretense that this is going to help people with disaster relief. This is how you can become a friend of Jehovah. You can work, you can be his fellow worker with God. He's using the word relief ministry. I don't know if I've ever heard them say relief ministry. That's a very normal Christian thing to say, but that's neither here nor there. When you are asking for money for helping people like this, and they are expressly donating money for this purpose, I don't see how you can ethically do this. I don't understand the minds of the governing body, who they have said themselves in a broadcasting that they are the ones in control of the funds and how those funds are used. How can you bring up natural disasters, see an influx of donations because you know people are thinking to themselves, wow, yeah, our brothers and sisters are really going to need help, and I want to make sure that they get that. I want to be part of this relief ministry. Maybe I'll give a couple hundred extra dollars. So they see a spike in their donations, and it goes from, 20 million per month or whatever the case might be, and that spikes up to something like 30 million. And they receive $40 million that month in donations worldwide. And they take a tiny percentage of that, and they give it to they use it to help people. How can you ethically say, hey, give us money for this reason, and then tell people that you're not using all of that money for the reason you're saying you're collecting it? How are you so thick in the head that you accept that? You accept that you don't do the mental math. Wait, hold on. They only spent $6 million. There's 8 million Jehovah's Witnesses around the world. Let's just say 10% of them were able to donate $100. This isn't adding up. This just, the math ain't mathin' right now. What are you guys doing with all of that money? But they tell you, it's not a mystery. They're using it for worldwide real estate expansion and hoarding wealth and assets. It's crazy. It is absolutely wild. Anyway, I have ranted about this long enough. Let's speed run the rest of this update and see what else it has to teach us.
Another way that Jehovah uses his organization to provide support is by means of our efforts to promote literacy. For decades, we've organized literacy classes. We've also prepared publications such as the brochure, Apply Yourself to Reading and Writing. That brochure is currently available in 136 languages, and more than 10 million copies have been produced.
This is another facade that the organization is involved in any type of humanitarian, charitable, giving back to the community, that they are a force of good, as it were. They have this little 32-page brochure with an ant and a banana and the word Mississippi in it, and they're teaching people how to read and write. And that is about the only tangible thing that they might be able to point to as being good for people. It's a useful skill to have, so I guess we can't complain about it too much. Now, the rest of this is just about the memorial and the need to preach. He mentions how you can auxiliary pioneer, which is only 15 hours per month, which is always makes me giggle. Back when I was a Jehovah's Witness, being an auxiliary pioneer, I think it was like 50 hours per month. But now that they don't even keep time, what's the point of it anymore? Anyway, just some silly stuff. So that's about all I have to say for this, not broadcast, this governing body update with our new favorite governing body member, Jacob from Rumpf. And with that bad joke resurrecting itself at the end of the video, stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to spend more time loving the things you love than hating the things you hate. And hey, go out and have a good-ass day.